on this computer, and I think we're ready. So welcome everybody to the Power of Microcirculation Challenge. I am Delia. I'm going to be kind of like a behind the scenes moderator, question answerer, and all that good stuff. And I'm here to kind of get y'all excited and introduce you to someone dear to my heart, my mama Camila. She's right here, but she'll talk in just a second after I'm done talking. And she's going to introduce you to our co-host, Susanna, who these ladies are doing amazing things. I've had the privilege of being raised by my mama, who was always in the know of natural, preventative, just healing modalities that I've benefited from. So I grew up an athlete, collegiately, full scholarship, graduated MVP, certified as a pro. So 3 of my brothers, we were all collegiate athletes. And, you know, that's the power of taking care of your body. And so me personally, I'm in my youth. I like the idea of how circulation can enhance endurance, strength, and all of those things. But we have my mama who's using it to just defy age. And then we have Susanna, who we're going to introduce you to, who's using it to punch cancer in the face. So we have all these amazing stories that we just know the world needs to be aware of. So I want to just give you some quick tidbits before these ladies get into it. So just some quick details. We're going to be going live every day at this time every day. So 2 p.m. Pacific time, give or take 10 minutes, because sometimes, you know, we got 3 ladies here. Sometimes they got to get their eyelashes going. You never know. So yes, so every day, 2 p.m. Pacific time, we will be live in the Facebook group. So make sure you've requested access. We will send you the replay links. You don't have to be here live. You can watch the replay if you miss it live, but we encourage live so you can ask questions and we can have engagement, because we're going to be going through a lot of amazing stuff. Some of the topics we're going to include is just the science behind microcirculation and circulation in general, you know, mental health, wellness, how circulation plays a factor in depression, things of that nature, sports, injury, recovery, and different diagnoses. So me, on my personal journey, my husband received a type 1 diabetes diagnosis 4 years ago, and he has done many, many miracles that his doctors have no explanation for. And it's because we lean into this type of stuff that is really promoting your body's natural healing systems. So really, that's kind of the big thing in terms of microcirculation, which we're going to get into. I just want to give you one visual and then I'm going to stop talking. So when you think of circulation and blood, you want it flowing. You want it flowing like a river, because if it's not flowing, I want you to see. Let me know if you can see this image. Susanna, can you see it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I see it.
So this is just a quick visualization of, are you a flowing or stagnant system in your body? So when you think of why is circulation so important, boom, look at this clean, fresh water that's in motion. It stays clean because it's not sitting there allowing bacteria and other microorganisms just to start building up, and toxins, which, you know, compromise the system. So I want you to have this visualization as these ladies discuss the power of microcirculation today, and as they discuss the different things that we're going to get into throughout the week. So I'm just stopping sharing. So without further ado, let me introduce you to my mama, Camila Feliz. She is my inspiration, and she is a wealth of knowledge, and she's going to be hosting today's session. So here you go, mama.
Can you see me okay?
Perfect.
Okay, you guys, are you flowing or are you stagnant? That's the question of the day.
I'm flowing.
A lot of us don't even have the awareness that we can either be stagnant or we can be in flowing. So anyway, let me just welcome everybody that has connected with us this afternoon. And I'm excited to be able to be here as your host, and excited that Susanna is able to join me as my co-host. Later on, we will share how it is that we got connected, and because she's at one extreme of the spectrum about health, and I'm on the other extreme on the spectrum of health. So as my daughter, my lovely daughter Delia, introduced me as Camila Feliz, and I'm co-hosting with Susanna, and I'm so excited that she's part of this journey with me. I have always been in the health space industry because a long time ago, I was, I guess, even not even 30, my father had diagnosed with cancer, and that, like, right away, within, they gave him 8 to 10 weeks, and that was it. And so that was something that marked my life, and that's what got me on the journey of finding out how is it that people don't even know that there's anything going on with them. And so I just want to be a little bit transparent here that I am a bit nervous, and I don't know if it's excitement or just, that this is barely maybe the second time that we've done this, and we shared a lot last time, but now we are going to do about the power of microcirculation. And yesterday I woke up and I was thinking about, like, I am 73 years old. Actually, I'm going to be 73, not too, soon. And I said, and I was thinking, like, why am I getting connected and doing this 5-day challenge of the power of microcirculation? I mean, I think it would be more like being in a rocking chair, just rocking back and forth. That's where, people already around my age, are thinking of that. And so I just thought, why am I here? Why am I doing this? And when you ask questions, you know that divine providence takes over. And I wanted to share with you what I got. Okay. In my spirit, I heard, when I asked, why am I doing this? Why am I here? And this is what I got: because you love me. And because you love me, you love my people. And when you love my people, you want to serve them. And all I could say, wow, Lord, that's deep. So, in other words, we have a message to share, and that's what we're here. He wants us to get out a message that is very important, because he promised us a healthy life, abundant life, and not one of illness. And so if just by us showing up that we can touch 1 or 2 people, to start thinking along the paths of how I started thinking many moons ago about what am I doing today to assure a quality of life. Like, that quality of life now is happening right now for me. So whether you are a pro athlete or a weekend warrior or a stay-at-home mom and dad, I want you to know that you are at the right place and you're in for a treat. Because in these 5 days, you're certainly going to learn a lot about what doctors don't even know about microcirculation. They mostly, we know about the heart, that that does all the work. But as we dove deeper into understanding about microcirculation, it's like, we don't think about it because it is just so almost supernatural. But everything that's happening in our body, we don't stop to think. We look at more of the outside, or do we have the muscles, are we looking good? But we don't stop to think, like, are we eating right, so that the inside of us can continue to support us. And so what I wanted to let you know is that all the illnesses that come about as we're older, it's not because most people think it's because that I'm 50 or I'm 60, 70, whatever the age is, you think that that's why or most people think that it's because you're old that you're getting sick. No, that illness started its journey when you were in your mid-20s, your 30s. But because you're strong, your immune system is strong, it can fight, your body can fight and keep everything at bay. But the time comes that as you're older, your immune system isn't strong, and all those toxins, everything that the body was able to keep away from you, it starts penetrating. They jump through the wall, they go over the wall, they do, cartwheels, back handstands, and whatever. And then comes the diagnosis. So my passion has always been to do preventive medicine. And I quoted Dr. Gundry the last time we were on this call about how he says that we don't need a doctor. And it's true if you have been on a preventive medicine type journey. Once you have gotten a diagnosis, then he considers himself a restorative, that he's in restorative medicine because let me see, I wanted to quote him just right. Dr. Gundry is all about restorative medicine, teaching people how to reverse their illness, their disease, rather than operating. He got to the point where he was operating and that just didn't sit well with him, and he wanted to get into that restorative type medicine. And so that's how he deals with his patients now. And in our lifetime, I learned this a long time ago through a book that I read, The Diet That Will Save Your Life, that there are 5 diseases that more likely one of us or all of us, some of us are going to get, whether it's going to be cancer, obesity, heart attack, diabetes, or diverticulosis. So way back when, in my early 30s, when I read this book, I picked one of those according to how I felt. So if nothing that you learned today, that if you can just learn to listen to your body, why is it feeling this way? Why is this happening? Then you're on the right path. And so according to how I was feeling, I picked diverticulosis, that in my 50s or 60s, that if anything was going to get me, that was going to be it. So obviously, where do you start with diverticulosis? And that's in your gut, how you digest or you don't digest, how do you eliminate or you don't, if you have troubles with, regularity. And so that's how, I made a choice for me, in which made it easy because now it's like you have a mental picture of what you're working on. And so I don't know, according to Omar Kivian, he says here, as we age, our health deteriorates and then we die. That is what we call aging. And then we take it for granted. And what we want is to just make you aware that don't take anything for granted. The pro athletes are, they're strong, they're, competing. Even the weekend warriors out at the parks doing their tennis, doing whatever sport that they love, they feel strong, and mainly because they're young. But I want you to start thinking about one day you're going to be my age. And you want to start reversing, stop aging where it starts. And from that point, wherever you're at, you want to start not getting, you'll be getting older chronologically, but in terms of the cellular level, you'll be getting younger. So,
with that point, I just want to make something's being, I'm imagining a picture of a classroom, like thinking of your cells. Most people go about their life just letting their cells just do whatever they want to do, and they don't have that preventative action. And so I think of like a classroom. Imagine if you had a school and a classroom full of students with no teacher, right? And so if you don't have that guidance, that support system for all these individual things, the way they interact will vary, and usually it'll end up in chaos, right? So this is just kind of being intentional, being aware, being that teacher and that authority over your body, and not just kicking back and let the kids run the show. So just a random thought.
Yes, exactly. And I was a teacher, a physical education teacher for 24.6 years until I broke. The stress of it all, everything, I just had to, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, and I was having to just I just had to stop working because my health was too important to me. And so then I started taking care of myself. And even as I was on a journey, now I had taken it up a notch by really committing and wanting to do the right protocols for my health. And so in terms of microcirculation, what is microcirculation? And that's part of the circulatory system. We always think of the heart, and that's what does the work, the job in your body. And we're thinking of, if the blood isn't flowing there, well, obviously you're going to have a heart attack. And so, but we don't think about it, that there's something more. Why? And even some doctors don't even know about microcirculation, that there is where the river of life takes place, because it's the little micro vessels. The capillaries are the ones that do, I think, about 74% of the work. And we don't think about it because, it's like this tiny, even you have to put it under a microscope to be able to see this capillary. And so, being that we have over 100 trillion cells, not even thousands in our body, that they're all, doing some type of work. They're either coming in to bringing in oxygen, nutrients, the blood flow, to repair, to strengthen, to anything that is going to be going awry in your body. If you have the proper circulation from the level of microcirculation, more than likely you'll be healing. You'll be doing something more than if you just are taking a medication. And even if you're taking a great supplement, if it's not being delivered. And that's what put me, it's like I got a revelation, like, yeah, I'm doing all these great supplements, but how do I know they're really making a dent? When you're younger, yes, I can see, but when you're older, it's a lot harder for the blood to be taking the nutrients and the oxygen to where they need to go. And how do I know this? Is because I notice it in myself. Like, why are my eyes feeling so tired? Well, I'm taking all these vitamins. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, because I'm lacking a micronutrient. And that micronutrient needs to be delivered through the microcirculation to get where it needs to get to my eyelid, if that's, where it needs to get. And so 74% of all the blood vessels in our body are microvessels, and more than 74,000 miles of them in our body. Can you imagine? Here's a little quote about Americans spend more on medicines than do all the people of Japan, Germany, France, Italy, Spain, the United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, Mexico, Brazil, and Argentina combined. Can you imagine the big health bill that you're going to end up with, however old you are, whether it's 20 years out, 30 years out, versus if you do some smaller investments now in yourself, so that you can end up with the optimal health that you are in. I want to go ahead and close you out, because with this very important that I got from Dr. Gundry. As you remember, I told you that he's into restorative medicine, and I have been about preventive medicine for the last 40 years. He says here that 90% of cells that make you and me up are non-human. And I start to think, what does that mean, non-human? They are bacteria, virus, fungus, parasites. And just knowing what these guys want to eat will determine what is going to happen to you in terms of what you're going to end up with some type of diagnosis if you don't do your stimulation of your microcirculation, whether you're young as an athlete or whether you're old as the older lady like me. So anyway, I'm going to introduce to you the most fantastic, amazing lady that I have ever met. She's co-hosting with me, and she has a lot of knowledge also, because she's on her journey of healing and being restored to the level of health that God has always intended for us to have. So with no more talking about Susana, here she is, Susana Romero from Corona. Take it away.
I had to thank you. And Camila, I have to say, you look fabulous. I mean, your skin, your hair. So you're just, I just was noticing when you got on, I'm like, oh my gosh, you should go back and look at yourself when we did the last video. Because you look great. You look, I mean, you always look great. That's something that I love. And we do have to share the story at some point of how we met, because that, talk about divine intervention.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't shared the story that about how we met in a while, but I always got a kick out of sharing it because, God works. We don't know how he works. He just works. So welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us. And again, I'm inviting and hoping that all of you will be on this 5-day journey with us, as well as sharing it with your friends and family and anybody that just wants to be a fly on the wall and hear our experiences and what we're doing. And, we have a few offers for you as well. And right now, I just want to share a little bit about my story and how I came to realize the importance of microcirculation in my life and my body. And that was 3 years ago, June of 2018. I received 2 very aggressive breast cancer diagnoses, stage 3. And I did not go the standard route, even though I am currently receiving chemotherapy. It's a low dose chemotherapy, and I got to be very careful. Again, this is my story and what I'm doing. But early on in my journey, it was I got introduced to this amazing PEMF machine that we will share with you as well. That really impacted my life. And what had happened was that the doctors, so I have 2 doctors. I have a holistic doctor as well as I have an oncologist. And both my doctors have expressed the importance of lymphatic massages and the microcirculation and making sure that it's always working. So 3 years ago, the doctor's prognosis was this: aggressive chemo, aggressive radiation, and mastectomy, all to happen within a year and a half. And if I did that, I would live 3 to 5 years. And well, that was interesting because I'm not much of a gambler, but those did not look or sound like good numbers. And again, through prayer and family and friends, and again, Camila and Nancy were 2 of my closest friends that jumped on board and we're all over sending me things, and we got to dialogue about, hey, why not try alternative methods? So here I am 3 years later, and about a month ago, I'm in my doctor's office, and he says, no surgery. We continue. He says, if you continue on the path you're out right now, no surgery. No, there's more things that will happen in the past 3 years, but I just wanted to share that. Again, later on, I think on Friday, I'll share a little bit more like with the diagnosis. So I have a routine. Now I went from stage 3 to stage 4, and that's because it did spread to my spine. I sleep well. I sleep a lot, and I focus on holistic things that I get to do that will limit or abolish any side effects. And I think, gosh, right now the side effects have been very minimal discomfort, and I have to sleep more. But, I have to sleep more anyway, because when we sleep, that's when the body's healing. So one of the things that I wanted to jump on, and like I said, throughout the days, I will share a little bit more of my journey. I want to just briefly mention the topics that we're going to be covering in the next few days. On tomorrow, we're going to go into what are some of the side effects, or what are some of the drawbacks or consequences of having poor circulation. On Wednesday, we're going to cover microcirculation and mental health. And we also have a beautiful and powerful testimony that day. On Thursday, we're going to cover microcirculation and sports. And all of you that are athletes, that have children that are in sports, you definitely want to tune in because it's something that again impacts everybody that's in sports. And then Friday will be microcirculation and a health diagnosis. So as Camila was mentioning, the fact that we have over 70% of our circulation is that was new to me. That I just found out. I learned that about a year ago. You know, I'm not a doctor. You know, I don't study all this. I thought, you know, I mean, I did know that we have arteries and capillaries and some are bigger than the other. I did not know that 70% is microcirculation. Now, and that's where the oxygen and that's where the nutrients get transferred into our systems. So that was huge because if my microcirculation is not moving, then how does that stuff get transferred? And in my case, I needed to work for multiple reasons. When we have an oxygenated body, especially when it comes to you're dealing with a stage 4, you know, diagnosis like the one that was presented. I don't receive it. It was presented 3 years ago. Again, a lot of times people fold. They close they close up and say, "That's it. I'm checking out. I'm done." When I have been blessed to meet many people that were given very aggressive diagnoses that they had 6 months to live, a year to live. Now, it doesn't matter, even if 2 people have the same diagnosis, what works for one won't work for the other. That doesn't always happen, regardless if you're going holistic or you're going standard. So what I have found is that it's so important to have a support team. And that's one of the things that we're here to invite you to be part of this so we could support you and walk whatever journey you're on together. The other thing we like to do is give you information that you can, little things that you can do or big on a daily basis that will help whatever journey you're on. So with that, I mean, I can go on and on. I want to, you know, we would like to give you some tips on things that you can do on your own that will help your overall circulation. And whenever you're impacting your circulation, you will, you know, inevitably impact your microcirculation. But whenever you're really targeting your microcirculation, that's going to take your overall circulation to another level. So tip number 1 is exercise. And I think we all can agree it feels good. We get those endorphins. In my case, so I'm going to always, when I can, I want to interject what I have to do. You know, when you get a stage 4 cancer diagnosis, you don't have the luxury like, I just want to stay in bed all day, because now you're literally fighting for your life. And I know that it's not my battle and that it's already been won. And again, I wasn't surprised when the doctor said that a month ago. And it did emotionally hit me until 3 days later when I was sharing with you, Camila. And then I got emotional because I was like, oh, wow, this is awesome. So exercise. In my case, the doctors do not want me sitting down for more than 30 minutes. They want me to move. Walking and stretching are some of the best exercises that you can do. I have a rebounder, and there's other things, but whatever you could. And what I have found, if I plan ahead, it makes it a little bit easier. And then my family's been a huge support. You know, sometimes my daughter will text me, living in the same house, "Hey, let's go for a walk." You know, my husband. And or we'll just get out and go walking. But walking is really key, and it helps if you can walk in the hills. So getting a massage, you know, not only does it help with that would be tip number 2. Getting a massage not only helps with the circulation, but it also helps in relaxation. So in my case, I go anywhere from every 2 weeks. Sometimes if I can get away with it, weekly. And it's just, I like to get a deep tissue massage. I've got a Thai massage. That's one of my favorites because it's just so, so that would be tip number 2, massage. If you can get a family member to give you a massage, that would be great as well. Number 3 is, and what I want to say about massage is it also impacts your stress level. And we will touch on that a little later as well. So the next tip, number 3, would be drinking water. I believe we have to drink a minimum of 65 ounces of water a day, but that is for someone that is at optimal health. When you're dealing with any medical condition, the minimum water amount is 100 ounces. And then you want to work your way up from there between 100 and 150. So, again, if you plan your day out, and alkaline water, maybe put some lemon in there. We can give you more tips on that if anybody has any questions or needs some guidance on that. But drinking lots of water will also make sure that circulation is flowing. The other thing is a green tea. So it turns out, green tea, as many of us know, it's high in antioxidants. Well, in all of the centers that I've gone to, the holistic centers are that's the only tea they have. They have all these packages of green tea. Well, it turns out, two things that I want to mention and invite you to go and do your own research and background check if you like. But green tea, not only is it a powerful antioxidant and it's great for protecting your healthy cells, it also helps open up the veins a little. So again, it helps with that circulation. And then the other thing is it helps, and I got to be very cautious with this, but I heard a doctor just the other day speak, a holistic doctor, and he says green tea helps with the circulating tumor cells. So that's huge. That's huge. And if you do a little bit of research, chemo does not touch the circulating tumor cells. So on the contrary, many times it actually strengthens them. And that's why you'll see another diagnosis, and I'll be quiet about all that. So that green tea, or get a good quality capsule of green tea. The other one would be skin brushing. Dry skin brushing. It helps the lymphatic, it gets rid of dead skin cells, and it feels good. I like to do this and use a natural brush. Dry skin brush is great also in keeping that circulation going, and also your lymphatic. So the number 6 would be dump the stress. Got to get rid of the stress. When I went to interview to a center, that I did a 3-week stay at a cancer center in Playas de Tijuana. Loved it. But when I went with my husband for the interview, the doctor looked at us and said, the number one thing that you have to make sure that you get rid of or get it under control is stress. So you can Google, how to get rid of stress, and all of these things will help that as well. But dump it, because you can get the best treatments for whatever you're going through. And if you don't control your stress, it will, it's just very difficult to overcome anything with, because the stress will manifest itself. So number 7, I'm going to give you 3 more. Number 7 would be eliminating, reducing, or just getting rid of alcohol. And I don't know if I'm allergic to it, but I had already gotten rid of that a while. Or maybe I just drank too much when I was young. I don't know, but it just I'm not. So reducing alcohol. So alcohol and sugar, and I have to say stress, are probably the 3 biggest bad guys against our body. They cause extreme inflammation and all these other things, water retention, and it's just bad. So if you can cut or reduce alcohol, and then the last 2 would be elevating your legs. Whatever you can do, lay down and elevate your legs. It takes the pressure off, and now you have things being able to move the other way, and it'll help. It'll help with the circulation. And the last one, it actually goes with number 1, and that's stretching. You can be sitting down, you can be walking, you can be standing, doing whatever, and just get in the habit of stretching. Stretching as little or as much as you can, and that helps. It helps with the circulation, and for me, that's one of my favorite things to do. Is I find myself constantly stretching, because it again, and it helps with not just the circulation, but the just getting the oxygen and flowing. So yeah, that was, where are we at right now? We're good. So there was yeah, if you can do as many of those tips in this 5-day challenge, you will be pleasantly surprised. Some of you are already doing them, some of you are not. Just take whatever you're doing, take it up a notch. Maybe it's the exercise. Maybe it's the and if I can give you one last tip, it would be sleep. If you take some herbal tea, maybe some melatonin, but if you can get as close to 8 hours of sleep, that's going to help with your stress and everything else, because the stress and lack of sleep will impact our circulation. And yeah, that's what I wanted to share. Massage. Yeah. I'm just excited right now. Right now, I'm excited because every time we've done this, we've seen some great improvement and results. And this is also part of my accountability. I love teaching it, sharing, because again, it keeps us connected. Anybody else, you want to share anything that that can help us keep that going?
No, I just want to emphasize the fact that you did stress a lot of different modalities of how to maybe we can stimulate our circulation. And but the class 2 medical device that we have to share can do the job in 8 minutes and stimulate the microcirculation, which is sometimes a lot harder. But just you understanding that you're doing something more than the next person because you have new knowledge and you have decided that you want to invest in yourself and you want to get different protocols that maybe you hadn't even thought about, or maybe you don't even know anybody around you that has, other than what the traditional stuff that is out there. You get a diagnosis, you go to the doctor, they give you this medication, or you're going to have this surgery, or you're going to have, whatever the modality is going to be for the particular diagnosis. So I just want to thank everybody for being on, and those of you that were not able to come on, well, I'm sure that you'll be able to see the replays as you go into the group. So does anybody have anything to share? The girls that are here? Okay, well then,
I just want to say thank you guys. Thank you so much for taking the time and helping us all out. And, I want to just send you guys blessings and many thanks, because you guys are becoming more and more so pros in this subject, and you help us all and you give us all great hope. So thank you for coaching us with this.
Yeah, thank you, Andine.
No, that wasn't me.
Barbie.
Oh, that was Barbie? Oh, I don't know why I guess because I'm seeing
I put my hand up, that's why.
Oh,
I just want to say also, I want to add to what Bobby just said. And you guys, I'm really impressed from the first time I came on your challenge to now, the amount of information that you guys just shared is like, wow, everybody needs to hear this. And Susanna, you talked about green tea. Some of it I knew, some of it I just now heard. But one of the things I want to add to it as well, I learned maybe 2 months ago, and since I did, I have green tea twice a day, in the morning and in the night, because it's the number one aid in fibroids for women who are struggling with fibroids, because that's one of the situations that have been plaguing me for years, and I can see the results. So it's also aided with to help to shrink fibroids. So
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. I was not aware of that. Thank you, Andine. Wow.
Absolutely.
yeah. So, this is what this a challenge is all about, to challenge you to go higher, challenge you to do something different, challenge you to change your mindset. And then will be people that don't really care to change. They're just comfortable. They maybe don't think that anything can work for them. But if we can just even help lift them up, a notch, to where maybe another person can come in and give them more information, that they would be able to have a different mindset on that. So with that, we're going to say goodbye, and we'll see you tomorrow.
There you go. All right, tomorrow at 2 p.m. See you guys there. Bye.